Dailies today.
Dailies today.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Good morning to you, Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to the second part of Dailies today. It's great to be back. I am Sheriff Quadry.
And I'm Jimi Disu. Good morning.
Good morning. We've got the papers here. You can watch the show on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can watch on Facebook and on YouTube. Let's get started. We're going to begin with the story here on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Shook the world yesterday. Bye-bye, Pope Francis, world mourns humble pontiff, the Vatican head of state.
Okay, first of all, let me say it's nice to have you back.
Thank you.
It's very nice. Quite exciting to have you back. Okay, the Nation, of all the papers that I have seen, the Nation did a fantastic special report. And I give them kudos for that. It's a truth, almost 3-page spread. It's as if I think they did what newspapers normally should do. What you do is that there are certain incidents you are prepared for: the demise of a king, the demise of a pope, the demise of the president, whatever. So you keep stocking up material, and then the day it happens, boom, you are ready. And they were quite ready. They've done a wonderful job. 2 pages. They say, and the report says that the Pope died of stroke and heart failure. Vatican, and they say world leaders, Tinubu, notable Nigerians, join others to pay tribute. There's a story on how he will be remembered, and there is an African and 9 others jostling to replace him. They did a potpourri of all the reactions from Paris to Ethiopia to Egypt to Germany, Iran, various world leaders. They have it. They have the reports here, which is very good. What will be the Pope remembered for? He says that he was deeply loved by the Catholic faithful and others around the world, and he will be remembered for his humility, doctrinal conservatism, and commitment to social justice. They say his simple lifestyle, including living in a small apartment, rather than the elegant bishop's residence, using public transportation and cooking his own meals, enhanced his reputation for humility. He limited his time in Rome to lightning visits. It's a pity some of the Catholic faithful here that we know amongst our prominent people haven't imbibed this man's virtues at all. But that's the story for another day. They haven't. The Catholics, the staunch Catholics, go to Mass, go to do what? They haven't imbibed his virtues at all. Imagine the Pope opting to live in a very small, tiny apartment. Because that's what life is all about. I don't get it. When people live with gold taps and gold buckles and gold door locks, and I don't know where the excitement for that comes from. Anyway, that's the story for another day. The story also says that President Tinubu, Peter Obi, and Atiku others all paid tribute. Remember, Peter Obi is a Catholic. And so it talks about the process for the funeral and so on and so forth. If you want to read the story, it is in the Nation. May I just say that may his soul rest in peace. I hope that's the right thing today to say to a Pope who has died, but I'm saying it in all innocence. May he rest in perfect peace.
And I say amen to that. Let's go check out our next story on page 26 of the Vanguard newspaper.
It's a photograph.
Oh, it's a photo.
Okay.
All right. Okay, there you go.
Good. I thought you would describe the photograph. So, the good news is that the president is back. As usual, again, he's back. He's been going back and forth and back and forth. And this photograph shows the whole half of the executive and whatever all lined up at the airport with somebody carrying the flag. It's so ceremonial. I wonder when we're going to put a stop to this waste of time and waste of money. Every time the president goes out, half the cabinet is lined up, the security advisor all lined up, and when he comes back, the same thing. We have seen in countries that we tend to want to borrow our own style of living from. We've seen that nobody does this. It's time wasting. Time wasting. We're so ceremonial. It even has this man in red. I don't know. It would be a National Guard or whatever carrying the Nigerian flag and so on and so forth. And I think we need to review. We need to review some of these things. Anyway, the story shows the chief of staff and the UK and President Bola Tinubu arrives on a 2-week working visit. They're still insistent that it's a working visit to France and the UK. So let's see the next time he's going to go. Do you want to take a bet to leave the country in a month's time?
No.
Let's take a bet now.
No, I'm not taking a bet.
You're not taking a bet.
I'm not.
But I wish somebody, it's becoming a bit of an irritation, more so when there's this complaint that the president keeps going back and forth, going to travel around the world back and forth. And I think the less you use things like this to rub it in, the better. The president has arrived. He just arrives and his car takes him back home. But that's the way they want to play the game, and that's the way it's going to be, at least until 2027.
I mean, come to think of it, what is wrong with our presidents, especially President Buhari and President Tinubu, going on working visits in Obudu Ranch, in Yankari Games Reserve, in other beautiful, fantastic holiday resorts that we have, especially places designated by UNESCO as, fantastic monuments world over, recognized world over. What is wrong? What is wrong with that?
You're asking me that. That is because you believe that they are going on working visits. Nobody is going to sell me that kite. The man has health challenges. He's been going abroad for treatment in the UK. Now France is where he wants to go get treated. And so I'm not going to believe anybody about any nonsense working visit. I'm not inclined to believe that. The way it is even shrouded, then he met some secretary, one American secretary, you see that's a working visit. You see, they're bringing ridicule to that office of the presidency. The myth around it has been broken. It's been stripped naked. It's been stripped bare. Egunti Bocho. I don't know why the spokespersons do this. He's a human being. He has the right to treatment anywhere he wants, especially since he's somebody, in any case, who can pick his own bill himself. Okay? That creates more credibility. Because what they are doing with this kind of insistence is that you think you have gotten away with it, but you are digging out the credibility in the presidency bit by bit. That's what you're doing. So that's my answer to the question. I don't believe in any nonsense walking visit. You don't even need to leave your premises. Why haven't we had the president who has actually formally gone on leave? In a whole year, I can't remember the last president, even including Jonathan, who went on leave and handed over to his deputy, apart from when Buhari did it once. And he seems to have, in the estimation of his own people, got his fingers burnt because his vice president, in the short time, had the most telling performance than he had. It's because we have allowed our leaders believe, or like Tunde Bakari said yesterday, we have allowed them to play God. I've been near a governor before, so I know the kind of things people say around them. The governor is very strong. He was up yesterday, 3 o'clock in the morning, and about 6 o'clock in the morning, look at him, you're looking bright and fresh. And I was saying to myself, you're going to kill this man. You don't play God. When you are a president, you're just a man in charge. In fact, we should make it statutory that you must, within 365 days, take a vacation and hand over. We should have a provision that allows that. It's not your personal property. But we want to play God, and we don't want it to appear that Buhari too, we knew his health was bad. If your health is bad, your health is bad. And for as long as you can walk on your legs and your brain is working, we will leave you to do so. But be humble about it, be straightforward about it, be honest about it. That builds better credibility. Nobody is fooled by all this. He's going on the working in another, because I suspect that he has to see his doctor within a specified period.
Okay.
That is my strong suspicion that he has. And at the age that he is, whether it's 73 or whatever age he might want, at the age that he is, he has gotten to the age of management. When you get to that age, that's what it is. It's not different from any other person. I have to see a doctor, I think it's every 2 months or so. They give you a next appointment. In his own case, given his state of health, even before he ran for before he won the presidency, he's somebody looking at what I can see who probably has to see his doctor minimum every 6 weeks. If that is what it is, that is what it is. Like they say, it is what it is. And maybe because of whatever it is, even though the doctor can travel down, and you don't even know whether there's a doctor that always travels down, comes to see you, whatever. I have no problem with that. But maybe we don't have the right equipment. Use the sickness of this man as an opportunity to set up a state-of-the-art clinic in Abuja. That's what we should have done. That's what we should have done. But our people are selfish, and it's going to lead me to one of the stories that we have here. Might as well talk about it now.
Okay.
Where it is said that where is it now? Okay, can I read it?
Yes, please.
Where it is said, this is in the Daily Trust. It says that presidency to spend 10 billion on solar mini grid. And it says that as Nigerians continue to suffer and contend with low power supply from discos, the presidency is planning to spend 10 billion naira on solar mini grid for the presidential villa. So they know how to take care of themselves. When UCH was in darkness, you didn't do that. Our universities are in darkness, you didn't do that. Our hospitals didn't do that. But for the presidential villa, when it's gotten to a crisis point, the presidency again is ready to spend 10 billion. Not that I have anything against it, because it makes sense. Why don't you do this to other critical areas? Get some fund from somewhere and say, okay, the major teaching hospitals, the major universities, the major this and that and that and that and this and that, we want to spend some money to build up capacity for solar. But you don't do that. You just take care of themselves and that's it. These little things affect the credibility and also affect people's confidence in government. This idea that you can buy vehicles for yourself, 160 million for each senator and House of Reps, you can do this for yourself and you can do that for yourself, and you bound the rest of us to the Philistines. That's what you get. Then it says, according to the approved 2025, the solar project titled Solarization of the Villa with Solar Mini Grid with a budget of 10 billion is under State House capital expenditure. But the trust says that this move comes amid growing concerns over unreliable public electricity supply and the high cost of electricity for both households and government institutions. The solar project is expected to reduce dependence on the national grid and limit the impact of tariff hikes on government finances. You know? And then the report goes on to talk about Band A, Band B, Band C, Band X, which as far as I'm concerned, is grossly irresponsible and insensitive. How can you group people into bands? So because of where I live, I cannot get maximum electricity, even if I can pay for it. It's discriminatory. But that's a story for another day.
Let's move on to our next story, which is also quite an important, very, very interesting story. Rivers versus NBA, how to calm 300 million naira storm by legal giants.
Candy Johnson was here on Saturday on the discourse. If you missed it, go look for it on YouTube. And he gave his feelings on this issue of the 300 million naira that, can I say, the NBA owes the Rivers State government. You know the story. Okay, if you don't know, let me tell you very quickly. NBA wanted to have his annual convention. They still had it anyway. And initially they had said it was going to be hosted in Rivers. Now, when they host like that, let's just break it. Let's be honest with ourselves. They go cap in hand to the state government of the host, whatever, and they're giving money to encourage them. Where the money goes, like Candy Johnson said on Saturday, I don't know. No, very few people get to know about where the money goes, but they're giving some money. Now, it's because of this political impasse that we have with the establishment of Vice Admiral Ibas as the sole administrator. You know all the politics with that. The NBA decided that, look, we can't have a convention in a city where we believe that the current administrator's appointment is illegal. So they shifted it to Enugu State. And shifting to Enugu State, Ibas now says that, okay, this money that was given to you, at least when gentleman governor was still in power, so to speak, can we have it back? And so they've been going back and forth and back and forth. The nation, today has done a fantastic job in doing a 2-page pullout and getting all kinds of views on whether they should return the money or not. And it will be interesting to know what some of you think out there. Well, let's see some of what we have here. Kalejaye says that it's not a personal gift from the then sitting governor, but from the coffers of the state government. It is wrong now to introduce crass legality into a gift that did not carry any legal obligation. Now, the Rivers State government, headed by Ibas, says that the 300 million was the hosting rights. But no agreement is usually
there was nothing like that.
There's nothing, so it's not hosting rights. I don't know if the money is even sometimes. I remember in the past, it's possible that it could have been given in cash. But yes, it's possible. I'm just saying it's possible. But let's go on. Ozekome says that an autocratic and selected regime cannot ask that money given by its predecessor, which was done in the east side of the state, but whose interest is now being jeopardized by the appointment of the sole administrator, should be returned. That's what Ozekome says. Taiwo says that I believe that the refund will ensure that the NBA can maintain its independence and not be seen to be taking sides in the crisis in Rivers State. Fashanu, my very good friend, says that it is legally and morally wrong for the NBA to keep the money under the circumstance. It can offer a refund not through the sole administrator, but when democracy is restored. When democracy is restored. By which time, again, the governor will not be asking for the money, if you get what I mean. Shitu says that by choosing transparency, accountability, and dialogue, the NBA will only resolve this particular issue, but also set a new ethical standard for professional associations across Africa. And so they have a full page with various reactions. If you're interested, this is like running a commercial for the nation. It's on pages 13 and 14 of the Nation. And kudos to the newspaper for this. They've done 2 good reports in one day.
All righty. Should the NBA return the money?
Initially, I said no. Let me be honest with you, but because I'm a Shangri person, my first reaction was no. Why should they return the money? But on second thought, especially after listening to my learned counsel, Candy Johnson, SAN, after listening to him on Saturday, I'm beginning to think that I think maybe they should, but pora now. I don't know what pora means in English, but the money is most likely not available. And therefore, what Fashanu offers, that when a democratic government is in place, you can refund the money, it works. Because when democratic government returns, if it ever does, whoever is in the seat will not be asking for any NBA money.
I think,
so morally, should they return the money?
I think that I would go with that opinion that they shouldn't return it to Ibas. They should return it to a democratically elected.
What difference does it make?
Because
just to show he doesn't have the rights.
Because NBA has taken a position.
Yeah.
That he is an illegality occupying.
So why hasn't the NBA made that point? That no, we can't return the money to you. We don't recognize you in law. When we have a sitting governor, we will return the money. That's what
Well,
should be
they've
happening.
not said that.
Well, so yeah. Let's be consultants with the NGO. I've been involved in the planning of these things. The Nation has an editorial, I hope we can get to it, in which they argue that professional bodies need to be very, very careful where they get monies from in situations like this. Whether you like it or not, this is going to bring a dent on the NBA anyway.
Right.
Whether you like it or not, at some point, if care is not taken, people, some lawyers who are not top echelon of NBA will now be asking questions. Can you please show us how the money has been spent? Then, Wahala Kasala can feed boss. Candy Johnson also, I don't know whether he said it jokingly or otherwise, that 300 million is not so much big money that the NBA cannot quickly raise and give to, by the time they go around 10, 15 lawyers who want to save the NBA embarrassment, they can put the money together and give it back to him. What they can do is they can pay the money into an escrow account. You see, that's the money there, but we will not hand it over to you until we have a democratic government.
Yeah, that's also a very, very good option.
But they have to tread carefully. Because this could jolly well open a can of worms. It could jolly well open a can of worms. They have to tread carefully. And indeed, other professional bodies, even our own NUJ, our own Guild of Editors, too, we need to learn a lesson from this. Because I know that usually when you're hosting, you go to the state government and they try to help you. What I think should be happening is, even if you want to help, so the Guild of Editors want to have their annual whatever in your state. When you approach the governor, say, oh, look, listen, Excellency, don't give us cash, okay? You have state hotels. Can you give us 50 rooms? Can you give us this hall for free? Ask for things that are not cashable. Because usually when it comes to cash, all kinds of stories are built around it, true or false. But then your credibility could be put to question.
I think that the current government of Rivers State are just being mischievous. I think that not that it's legal, not that it is illegal. Governments, like you've said, governments do this to professional bodies.
They do that to professional
and
bodies.
it's a show of good gesture in support of whatever events that these professional bodies want to have. Like I said, it is not illegal for government to do that. After all, they have these provisions, every now and again to do it. For the Rivers State government to now come forward and say,
but they premise the
argument
that when we gave you the money, supposedly they were Ibas was not even reckoning. It was because you are going to be host it in
you can't tie them down as to where they want to.
Do they have
host.
an agreement?
There was nothing. That's why I said governments do it. They can come to you and say, we want to host this thing in your state, or please, support us and everything. You support them, and something happens. What if there was an unrest?
Because apart from that, remember that the state benefits in leaps and bounds from this hosting. If that hosted
absolutely.
in leaps and bounds, and in fact, government should be encouraged to assist in things like this, because NBA conference is attended by all lawyers all over Nigeria and in the diaspora.
If anything, I would commend NBA for standing by on the side of the law by saying that, look, this is an illegality. If we go ahead and host this thing here, it retains the name of the NBA. We can't do this here because it's the NBA we're talking about.
Okay, so let's take it issue by issue. I commend the NBA for not hosting it in Rivers based on that point of principle. That is fantastic. I think that the way around all this embarrassment is to tell the NBA that you have no right to even ask us for the money. We don't recognize you. When there is a proper government in place, we will talk to that government and just shut down. Because when the new government comes, we can say that, okay, maybe you've gone to Enugu, you're hosting another one, now come to Rivers.
It's simple.
We've solved the problem.
Let's go to this story about Unity College. Unity Colleges boil over over illegal levies, admission, racketeering.
I even got a note from a concerned parent, I think sometime last week. And I didn't know that it was going to get to this point. The Unity colleges, that includes KC, King's College, Queen's College, all these Unity schools, apparently there's a lot of racketeering going on, and it's been long. It's been long. It's been long. Why? One thing I don't understand is we set up institutions, we set them up for special needs, but everybody wants to believe that now everybody wants his child to go either to be able to say Floriad because he went to KC or whatever, Queen's College. And in doing that, we've overloaded the schools. The King's College, whatever, has been completely destroyed as far as I'm concerned. You have 2 cases. I don't believe in separating schools. Part of the development of schools is from Form 1, you have a school further in Form 5. And then you grow up, things like that. Anyway, a lot of racketeering is going on. It is alleged that parents pay as much as 600,000 for admission. 600,000. There's also the allegation that PTA leaders disregard government's directive and increase levies at will. And there's also, the minister says that PTA not another administrative structure in schools, because in some schools, the schools are run by the PTA instead of the trustees or the owners of the schools, the kind of influence that they have. Some parents who spoke to Vanguard correspondent said they paid between 500 and 600 to gain admission in the schools. They've also talked about the issue of illegal levies. There's also something called the religious fee. They say every parent must pay 1,000 naira per term as religion levy. When parents don't want it, they are being forced to do so. I think what the government should do, these are government schools, set up a high-powered commission of inquiry. Look, you see, one of the problems we have, Sheriff, is that we don't punish guilty people.
No, we don't.
Look for this. You have a whole CID division in the police. Send your detectives there, find out the truth, and severely punish whoever is involved in this. The PTA chairman at Queen's College has reacted to some of these things. Her name is, I don't know her or his name is Oluwayomi Ojo, and reacted to some of the complaints by some of the parents in a post on the PTA WhatsApp platform. And he said, fellow parents of QC, let me start by apologizing for taking all of that. I have to take time to gather my thoughts and listen to everybody. It was not a deliberate neglect and so on and so forth. Well, the old students of the 2 schools, I used to be an honorary old student of Queen's College. Don't ask me.
As in how?
I was aligned with
how?
I was aligned with Obasa House as an honorary old student of Queen's College. I'm proud to say so.
Why?
That is none of your business. But they can't deny. But what I think, talking seriously, the old students should take up the challenge. I know Alhaji Okunu has led a move for old students to see if they can take over King's College. I hope they can get that done and put an end to this kind of rubbish.
Yeah, that's where we'll leave it for this morning. Thank you, Lagos, for being a part of the show.
It's nice to have you back.
It's good to be back.
It's good to be back.
I'm
so excited.
But you're back at 9.
I'm not good anyway. I'm back at 9. No. Now that Sheriff is back, my party man.
Fantastic. So we're back at 9. Lagos, let's hand you back to Kofi Bartels on the Morning Crossfire. Stay here with us, please.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.